Hey there, friends. Welcome to the Better Postpartum Podcast. I'm your host, Angel Swan, crunchy mom, coffee addict, and postpartum doula turned new mom coach. This podcast is your audio guide to not just surviving, but thriving during those early newborn days. If you want to care for yourself, your household, and your baby with confidence, grab your earbuds because this is the only podcast that you need. So what do you say? Should we get started with today's episode? Let's do this. Hey friends, thank you so much for tuning in today. Before we get started, I just want to read this really sweet review submitted by Sarah Hobb. She says, really awesome podcast, especially for new moms. Hey, thanks, Sarah. Thanks for that review. And listen, you guys, if you're loving this podcast and you're learning from it, please go over to Apple Podcasts, rate, review, subscribe, leave me that 5 stars with just a little love note. Something short and sweet will do. That's fine. I appreciate all of it. Because those little love notes that you leave, they make me smile. They just really make my day every time I see a new one up there. And it also helps other moms find this podcast so that they can learn from it too. So thanks again, Sarah. Now let's get into today's episode. Okay, so today's a little bit different because I'm not really going to give you any actionable tips per se, but more so going to give you some encouragement for those days when you wonder what the heck you got yourself into when you became a mom. So recently I saw a post in a Facebook group and this mom was just feeling so discouraged, and I'm not going to use her name because I do want to respect her privacy. But she was talking about how some days are so great. Like the baby sleeps well, they eat well, they play by themselves. And then on those days, she's feeling really confident. Like those days make her feel like she's finally getting the hang of things, like she's got it all figured out. And it's just such a great little mood booster for her. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, her baby throws her a curveball and they stop sleeping well. The baby becomes fussy at the breast. They won't sleep unless they're laying on mom. And when the baby does actually sleep, they're restless and they wake up fussy. And this mom says that those days are so hard and they make her feel like she's just lost the joy of motherhood. It's like a punch to the gut. One day you're really in a groove with your baby, and the next day it seems like you just can't do anything right. So I just want you to know, if you feel this way, you're definitely not alone. I remember feeling this way a lot. I had really awful postpartum depression and anxiety. I had such bad thoughts, and I totally put myself down for thinking those thoughts at all, instead of just choosing to think differently. And my life was just spiraling out of control until I decided to change. So I got help. I went to therapy. I took supplements. I started actually taking care of myself instead of putting my needs on the back burner. And then over time, I came out of that darkness. So yes, I definitely had some days where I wondered, what on earth was I thinking? Why did I ever choose to get pregnant on purpose? It wasn't even a mistake. I chose to get pregnant. We tried for a baby. And I found myself thinking what did I get myself into? I am not cut out for this. But I also had so many days where I felt on top of the world. I was so happy to be a mom. I still am so happy to be a mom every day. And through it all, I feel like my daughter, Genevieve, is my driving force. She is my main motivation to be my best self. When she was a baby, I was just kind of in survival mode. But I knew that I had to keep myself moving. I had to keep going so that she could live a good life. Even if I didn't feel like it, I had to at least do something to keep things moving. Because I want her to have everything, and I can't make that happen for her if I'm not taking care of myself. And now that she's a toddler, I feel like she's even more of a motivator than before. She literally holds me accountable for things that need to get done, like especially when it comes to keeping the house in working order. She's so cute. She begs me every day. She wants to vacuum. She wants to do laundry with me. She knows how to push the buttons on the washing machine to make it go. Like I literally had her teach my husband how to work our new washing machine. She asked me to do dishes with her. She wants me to help me put them away and put them in the dishwasher. So now that she's older, she's literally reminding me to take care of the things that we have. And I don't know about you, but I really need to get those basic chores done in order for me to feel accomplished and have a clear mind. Because when my house is messy or dirty, it just makes me feel awful and really unfocused. And it just puts me in a bad mood. So all of this to say, if you're feeling down, if you're having those bad thoughts, it gets better. But the only way that it gets better is when you really try hard to make it better. You have to make that decision. Do we still have bad days? Of course we do. Jenny has sensory processing issues, and when she gets overstimulated, she has the most gigantic meltdowns that I've ever seen, and they last for over an hour, and there's literally nothing that we can do but to wait it out. We just have to let her go on her little rage, her little rampage, and wait. And those days are probably the most difficult days for me, but I want you to know that those bad days, they're just bad days, okay? Having a bad day doesn't make it a bad life. And the only person who can say if your life is good or bad is you. So I think if you think that your life is bad, then it's going to feel bad because your thoughts control your feelings and your feelings then control your actions. So if you're thinking, I suck at this, I'm such a bad mom, then you're going to feel like crap. Those bad feelings will impact your life in such a negative way. And it all starts with your thoughts because you'll start taking action on those feelings, which in the case of postpartum depression or anxiety, that usually means you're not taking much action at all. Because if you're so bad at this or that, then what's the point of even trying, right? What's the point of trying to get up and take a shower? The baby's just going to cry and make you stop your shower early anyways, so why bother? But when you think like that, the next thing you know, it's 5 days later, you have not showered, and you can actually smell your own stench. And that just makes you feel gross, and you get more depressed. Okay, here's another one. What's the point of trying to sleep when the baby sleeps? The baby's just going to cry and wake you up the second you fall asleep, so why bother? Next thing you know, you haven't slept in days and you're exhausted and you break down crying over the tiniest, silliest little things because your brain just cannot even handle everyday situations anymore. Everything feels too hard, so you continue to just sit there and do nothing. And then you feel bad for doing nothing, right? It's an awful, vicious cycle, but you can't seem to make yourself do anything else but sit, and it just never ends until you decide to make a choice to be better, to get better. This is what I'm talking about. Your negative thoughts will make you feel bad, and feeling bad causes you to make decisions that usually are not the best for you. In fact, those decisions tend to make you feel worse later on. It's just a compound effect. So if you're constantly focusing on the bad days, on the bad moments, if you're constantly focusing on the negative, your life will be sad. And I just want to let you know that if this is happening to you, you're not broken, okay? This is a normal thing that happens to all of us. Our brains are hardwired to protect us from danger. And your brain does this thing called confirmation bias. And confirmation bias is the tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms or supports one's prior beliefs or values. That's from Wikipedia, by the way. Okay, so if your belief is that you're a bad mom, that you cannot do this, you are not equipped, then your brain is going to pick out those little scenarios to confirm that belief that you are in fact a bad mom. Your brain is literally going to go looking for examples of the times when you failed. And it's going to remind you of those things. That's confirmation bias. Okay. But the thing is, you're not a bad mom, okay? That is not the case at all. It's just your brain doing that wonky thing that is not always helpful. So, and, confirmation bias can go both ways. It can be towards the negative or it can be positive. So what if instead of focusing on the negative parts of motherhood, you made a conscious decision and made a conscious effort to focus on the good, to focus on the good days, to notice a sweet moment when it happens and just sit there and savor it for a minute and store that away in your memory bank. You have to make the choice to believe in yourself. Believe that you're a good mom, that you're the perfect mom for your baby, and that you were made for this. Because when you make that choice to believe in yourself, your confirmation bias will kick in and it will affirm that belief. And over time, you'll feel like you have more good days than bad because you're choosing to focus on the good things and you're releasing those memories of the bad days. And it is my firm belief that you were made to be a mom. And I believe that your baby is here to help you be the best version of yourself. And lady, I just hope that you would believe in yourself as much as I believe in you. Because I believe in you. I believe in you so hard. You don't even know. And I know that you're an amazing mother, even on the bad days. And if you need someone to cheer you on, to be on your side, to help you work through the bad days so that you can see more of the good, to help you create self-care routines that will help you have a more sound mind so you can have a better outlook on your life, I want to invite you to come and work with me. I specialize in 3 things: getting your baby on a consistent routine so they sleep better and have more independent playtime, organizing your daily tasks so you can stop staying up late to finish projects you didn't get done earlier in the day, and creating a self-care routine to manage your postpartum depression or anxiety so you can feel like yourself again. Those are my 3 specialties, okay? So if you want help with one of those 3 things, you can work with me in 2 ways. The first option is to join my group coaching program. It's called Back to You. And in that group coaching program, we work on all 3 of those things together. So you'll go through the self-paced course, and as you're working through that course content, you will have worksheets to guide you through the process. You can take everything step by step. It is laid out in such a way that you will be able to do it if you do the work. You can do all these things if you do the work. You'll have access to me through weekly Q&A calls where you can get direct feedback and support from me. And you'll have access to me through our members-only Facebook community where you can post questions anytime and get support. Now, the second way that you can work with me is through one-on-one coaching. So we'll choose just one of those things and focus on that for 6 weeks together. So if you're ready to get your baby on a consistent routine, organize your daily tasks, or create a self-care routine to manage your postpartum depression or anxiety so you can feel like yourself again, come and work with me, okay? To get started, you just go to my website, angelswan.com/workwithme, and you can choose the coaching option that works best for you. Or you can always just check the episode description. There's always a link there to be able to work with me, to get in touch with me. All of the good things are in the episode description, so check there. So friends, that's it for today. As always, don't forget, you can come and hang out with me on Instagram at angel.swan. You can grab my free postpartum planner on my website, angelswan.com. And of course, don't forget to go on Apple Podcasts and rate, review, and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening. I believe in you, okay? I really do. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Better Postpartum Podcast. Here's what I want you to do next. If you loved what you heard today, would you do me a giant favor and leave me a written 5-star review? Those little love notes that you leave are the perfect way to thank me for putting out these episodes just for you. Seriously, it would mean the world to me. Next, take a screenshot of the episode you're listening to right now and share it on your Instagram stories, and make sure you tag me at angel.swan. That's SWON, so that more moms can find this podcast and hopefully get the advice and encouragement they need to truly thrive with their babies. And don't forget to come back every single week for more nuggets of wisdom and truth bombs about the early motherhood journey. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.